Alright guys, so this is going to be a top 10 list that was voted on over on my Patreon. As always, if you'd like to be part of Patreon polls, just hit the link in the description box below, head on over to my Patreon, hit the first tier, that'll allow you access to do so. But, yeah. Also, it allows you to check out my episode reviews of Alien Earth, as well as movie reviews. So, just hit the link in the description box below, head on over to my Patreon, hit the first tier, that'll allow you access to do so. But other than that, let's get started. So this was the winner of the poll. As you can see, my top 10 favorite Simpsons episodes. The Simpsons are very much a series that's been tied into my life for a long time. I'm sure as a lot of you, whether they've been part of the cultural zeitgeist for a while. So it was really hard to do this list. This list went under a lot of changes. Even my number one, I really thought about, because there's so many episodes, right? There's nearly 800 episodes. And I might do this list again in the future, depending on how I feel. But yeah, so if you think a list should be on higher or lower, or not at all on the list, that's totally fine. I'm always excited to hear what your favorite episodes are in the comments below. So yeah, before we get started, however, I'm actually going to talk about, some episodes that just didn't make the cut. Starting with, Mayor to the Mob. I love that episode. It's an episode where Homer is now Mayor Quimby's bodyguard, and there's great just comedic timing in that episode. Homer Badman is another one. I think that one has some great jokes in it too. I also love the episode involving his mom. That got so close to being in this top 10, but it just got edged out just a bit. But I would say that would be 11th place in the series. A few others, like the Lemon of Troy. I love that episode of just having Bart and the kids go out to seeing Shelbyville for the first time. I also enjoy the Brazilian episode. I really like. A lot of the Simpsons episodes where they're going to other places is a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of great humor there, like 30 Minutes Over Tokyo, the episode where they go to Brazil. There's the other one where they go to London. There's solid jokes in those episodes, a lot of jokes. No matter how bad the season is, I think when they go to other places, those usually have some of the best jokes. Not all the time, but usually. So there are a ton of episodes that just were honorable mentions, and we'd be here all day. So without further ado, let's talk about the top 10. Starting off at number 10, we have A Fish Called Selma. Troy McClure is a great character, and to have a whole episode about him marrying Selma is a great joke. I also fun fact, I've told this story before, is that this was my first exposure to Planet of the Apes. Yeah. When I was a kid, the Planet of the Apes musical thing in The Simpsons was the first thing I saw, long before I saw the original Planet of the Apes. And when I was a kid, I was like, why is Dr. Zaius not his friend? I knew it wasn't a musical. I had enough cognitive resonance to know that wasn't going to be a musical, but I thought like him and Dr. Zaius were actually like bros and things like that. So it was kind of weird. So yeah, I think also there's some just great underlying jokes, like when Mayor Lovejoy not Reverend Lovejoy, Reverend Lovejoy is saying speak now or forever hold your peace, and in Homer's head it's just da 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 hey da 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 hey da da. That's it. That just ends right there. There's great just great humor to it. Also, I forgot to mention this too, there will be no episodes of Treehouse of Horror. I feel like I can do a whole top 10 list off of the Treehouse of Horror. I should have mentioned that too. I'm sorry I mentioned that right now in the middle of the countdown. But yeah, in case anyone types on, what about Treehouse of Horror episodes? Those have enough episodes in of themselves where I can do a whole top 10 on their own. So when we get closer to when we get closer and deeper into spooky season, I will probably do a top 10 Treehouse of Horror episode list. Anyway. So at number 10, yeah. I also think that the underlying not said out loud joke of Troy McClure fucking fish there's some great innuendo jokes in there too. Yeah, it's an underrated episode in my opinion. Next up, the two Nahasapina Pentalons. This is a fun episode because it focuses on Apu, and I love, like, there's some great line delivery in here, and I think also, like, the callback to Stampy is a fun one. I also love the moment where, like, Homer comes bursting into the wedding, like, I am Ganesh, this wedding angers me, all who oppose will die. And then they're just like, you are not Ganesh, Ganesh is graceful. Ah! Stop chasing. And then I don't know why I always get a laugh out of the elephant, like, attacking Homer, of, like, it wraps around him and is like, stop! No, stop! Ganesh commands you! And just starts beating on him. I don't know why that's so funny to me. I also like just the theme of it, of, like, Apu is so dead set on not marrying Manjula that he's trying to even cook up a thing with Homer's wife. Do all of your schemes end in a twisted web of betrayal? Not always. Yeah. Next up on the list, this is a really good one, because this is the first crossover episode we're going to talk about, and that is the Springfield Files. This was basically the big crossover between the Simpsons and the X-Files, and I think it just makes it, like, the fact that we have Mulder and Scully's actor, David Duchovny and, I forget Scully's actress's name, but we have them making fun of themselves is hilarious. Duchovny, apparently, according to, like, a lot of insiders, said that Duchovny was down for it, down for this crossover just to make fun of himself. So I really do like that. I think there's some great I just think there's some great humor there. And also I always quote I bring you love. It's bringing us love. Don't let it get away. Break its legs. Like, I say that so many times. Like, I've said that so many times. It's like, quick, it's bringing us love. Don't let it get away. Break its legs. Or, oh, it's Mr. Birds. Kill it. Kill it. I also, the joke that always gets me, and it's so subtle, is where Homer first sees the alien that later turns out to be Mr. Burns. And it says, don't be afraid. Yeah! He's just running and he spells out, he even jumps on the dot to make an exclamation point. That always gets me. Just the, yeah. Next up, we have Homie the Clown. This is the episode where Homer takes on the job of being a Krusty the Clown fill-in, and ended up getting attacked by the mob. It also actually is a great callback, because for those who don't know, originally Homer was supposed to be at the end. It was going to be revealed at the end of season 1 that Homer was actually Krusty the Clown. Like, that was the idea, is that Bart's, his father, who he thinks is an idiot, is actually this big actor. So it's like a callback to that original plot line. I think there's just some great jokes when Homer's in clown college. I also love that whole thing of, like, you guys have stood in my way for long enough. I'm going to clown college. I don't think any of us expected him to say that. I still get a laugh out of this episode. It's an episode I always come back to no matter what. And, it's just great. Next up at and I am looking at the list because I know I'd forget. Number 6, Mom and Pop Art. This is an episode no one really talks about, and I think everyone just remembers the opening, which is arguably the best part of the episode, where Homer's trying to build that grill, and he's just like, yeah, that's one fine-looking barbecue pit. Why doesn't mine look like that? Ah! Why must life be so hard? Why must I fail at every attempt at masonry? Ah! I often have that same kind of crash out every so often. So I do feel Homer's pain. Another episode that was just close to making it just because of the Homer parts was the episode of where Bart is pranking Edna Krabappel by pretending to be, like, sending these love letters. And it's just that moment of, oh, fudge, that's broken. Fiddle-dee-dee! That will require a tetanus shot. I'm not going to swear, but I am going to kick this doghouse down! Anyway. So Mom and Pop Art, after that, has some other great jokes that I don't think get appreciated. So Mom and Pop, one episode, like one thing that just blurred out I still think is funny is when Lisa's explaining another artist and she's like, he once wrapped the Reichstag in plastic bubble wrap. Not the Reichstag! Like, I think of that joke all often, and whenever someone brings up, like, anything to do with Germany, I go, not the Reichstag! Which, horrible context. But no one gets that context because it's such an underused joke. So yeah, Mom and Pop Art at number 6. Now we come to the top 5, and at number 5 we have the other crossover episode with Jay Sherman the critic, A Star Is Burns. If you want to talk about great jokes, there is very few that can compare with Football in the Groin. Like, seriously, no matter how many times you see it, it's the doink, the little doink at the end that gets me every time. But the ball, his groin, it just works on so many levels. And I roll it again. I also think that there are just some great underlying jokes, and it doesn't, like, Jay Sherman just feels like a part of the Simpsons universe. And it took me forever to realize, because I never, like, when I was a kid, I never got to see The Critic, because I was too young and it was coming out later at night. You know, there were such a thing as bedtime for kids in the 90s. God, I just dated myself. Anyway, so I always thought Jay Sherman was just another character in the Simpsons universe because I saw him again later, and I was just like, oh, he's just a one-off character. Jay Sherman's just a one-off character. I didn't realize that. But I have seen The Critic. It's criminally underrated. But I do like it doesn't feel like a solid crossover episode. It feels more like a Simpsons episode with Jay Sherman there, and he really does add to it. But I do like it. I did like the jokes are just great. And there's just some great comedic timing to it, too. Yeah. So let's move on to number 4, Deep Space Homer. This is the episode where Homer is an astronaut. And Jesus Christ, this episode never stops being funny. Like, this, at no point does it ever stop not being funny. It's one of the best episodes of the series, bar none. I think there are just some solid jokes there, like especially when Homer's in space and like eating the chips in mid-flight. There's just great comedic timing, and there's also some undercurrent ones too, like and I for one personally welcome our new ant overlords. I think it is one of the greatest episodes. I think there's also like just some great physical comedy too, which I think does. There's not I don't think like the Simpsons writing is great, but I think it's also just physical comedy too that gets me. Oh, backtracking to A Star Is Burns because I forgot to mention it. One of my favorite jokes in Simpsons period comes in the Star Is Burns. I feel bad that I didn't mention it earlier, but in the episode, there is literally a scene where one of the short films is Apu getting robbed, and Wiggum is getting like wrapped up in the hot dog machine, and he's getting like his head pulled in. He's just like, "Oh boy, this is only gonna get worse before it gets better." And that is a quote that I use in my life every so often. It's just such a simple, quick joke, but it just works on so many levels. And that has been something that has gone in my head in my life multiple times. Oh boy, this is only going to get worse before it gets better. Anyway, getting back on track to number 3, and I can sum it up number 3 as, call Mr. Plow. That's my name. That name again is Mr. Plow. Bing. Mr. Plow, there are no words to describe how great this episode is. It's just Homer gets a snowplow machine. I mean, just a snowplow, and he's just going around being an idiot. There's nothing better, and has like a rivalry with Barney out of nowhere, which does feel like a little weird, I will admit. But at the same time, there's just great jokes that come out of that too. There's again, Adam West is a guest star. Also have Linda Ronstadt shows up. It's great. It's just hilarious. Now, number 1 and number 2 are really hard, and I really had to think on where I'd place them, but I think I'm good with it. But again, I might do this list like next year, and it'll be completely different episodes because there's so many Simpsons episodes that I love. But at number 2, Marge versus the Monorail. If you want to talk about greatest Simpsons episodes ever, this is definitely one of them. Marge versus the Monorail is a great, and Marge doesn't get a lot of great episodes. But when she does get good episodes, holy shit, are they great? They knock it out of the park. This has Leonard Nimoy in it, making his second appearance in the series. There's just such fast-paced jokes, and it's also the song is great. The Monorail song is just hilarious. It's so catchy. It's just fun. It's just a fun and one of those quintessential Simpsons episodes. And at number 1, this one doesn't really feature the Simpsons at all. They are there, but they are tangentially connected. And that is, at my number 1 pick is 22 short films about Springfield. I'm sure you've probably seen that a lot in other people's favorite episodes. But 22 short films about Springfield is like a love letter to Tarantino storytelling and also some parody writing, which is genius. And there's just great hit after hit after hit with jokes. Bumblebee Man, like the physical comedy of spoken in Spanish, is great. The homage to Pulp Fiction, awesome. There's just so much in here that is just like you can go back and find other little things again and again and again, and I just love it. From start to finish, 22 short films about Springfield is just hilarious, and of course, it gave us steamed hams. It gave us steamed hams, people. I don't think like that just works on its own, right? Anyway. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much my top 10 favorite episodes of The Simpsons. You guys tell me in the comments below, what are your top 10 favorite episodes of The Simpsons? And like I said, hopefully I'll remember to do it, but I really want to do a top 10 Treehouse of Horror episodes when we get further into spooky season. So yeah, but once again, this is just my personal list. I'm always excited to hear what you guys have to say. Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in Multiverse.